Hi everybody, this is Diane. I am hoping that I'm actually going to make a video that I will upload. I have done two so far with I'm making these journals that I haven't uploaded. The first one I did upload. That was making the ephemera with the file folder pieces. And then I did another one and I scrapped it. And then I did another one today, which I haven't definitely scrapped yet, but I'm going to review it and see if I'm actually going to upload it. But I'm going to try to make one that I will upload. My problem is that I'm not exactly sure what I wanted to do with these. I get one thing done on the video and then I'm hemming and hawing about the next thing to do, and I'm just thinking you guys don't want to see all that, so you miss out on the good part of the video because the rest of the video isn't good. So one thing I did show in the video that I'm not sure about yet is making aged cellophane out of new cellophane tape. So you can see on this, well, by the way, you didn't see these covers yet. I took my ledger book covers. So these are the Shabby Chic ledger journals. So I took the covers and I Mod Podged all of these elements on. This is from a 1918 ledger, and it is a record of items purchased and the prices. It's mostly cooking items: potatoes, eggs, lamb, butter, more eggs, etc. 3.5 tons of, I'm not sure if that's lime, and 4 lambs. So it's not just food, it's just farm stuff. So this one says 1918. This was at the front of the journal. This one says 1921 because it was further back into the ledger. And then I Mod Podged on the negatives from where I cut out my numbers with my Big Shot, and some more of the digital fussy cut flowers from Tsunami Rose. And on this one I added excuse me, I added some of my pretend aged cellophane, and I'm going to add some more to this one. And I suppose if I'm not going to publish the other video, I should show you how I did it. So here's a little piece. I'm going to have to glue this because I think this one part of it isn't sticky anymore. It's curly and I can't get the end of it. Okay, hopefully that's good. Ow! That pin has glue on it, so it stuck to my hand. Then I stabbed myself with it. Oh, I tore that piece of tape. Well, now it really looks like an aged piece of cellophane that was stuck on this book, doesn't it? So this is a piece of vinyl, and you can use acetate. I couldn't find my acetate, but I did have this piece of vinyl, and I'll show you what I did. Well, it's just tearing when I pull it off of it. I think I need one more piece. I'm wondering if the acetate will be better because I think it sticks too well to the vinyl. So I'm going to take a piece, well, it just tore. I was going to tear it with my serrated edge here, but it tore. It's not cut, it's torn, so it's good. It still looks like it wasn't cut with scissors. I think we're going to call that good. So I have an empty space right here, so I will quickly show you what I did. I did some yesterday, and I saw this technique on other videos. I had 3/4 inch tape, and that's what I used. But then I went looking elsewhere today and found the 1/2 inch tape. That's the 3/4. This is what I want. I like the 1/2 inch tape better. Is this 1/2 inch? Because this seems wide. This is wider than that. Where's my little tape? Oh well, for today, for this purpose, we'll just do the wide tape. Because I just want to show you quickly how to do it. So this is just a piece of vinyl that I found in the Walmart remnant bin once upon a time. I've had it for a while. It's yardage. You buy it by the yard, and I think you were supposed to use it for protecting your tablecloth or something like that. So I have my alcohol inks here, and I'm using the butterscotch because that one has a more yellow tint, like aged cellophane. And I just put some on there, and then take a paintbrush and spread it out. And it dries really quickly because it is alcohol ink. And I'm going to take some ginger just to add a little bit of contrast. That might have been more than I needed. Yeah, that makes it too red. But you get the idea. Now I have to put butterscotch back on it because that's too red. Well, I do see some cellophane tapes that have turned this color. So anyway, that's what you do. Pretty easy and quick. So now I can use it to my heart's content. I still have some of my real vintage cellophane stored away in this little bag. Whoops, pieces are coming out. But I had this music sheet that had a lot of tape on it, and I desperately wanted it, but it wouldn't come off the paper. The paper just tore. But I do have some that came off of a book cover. I might use these pieces that have the music attached to it in collages or something. So I don't have a lot of it, but I want to use this in these journals. So I hope that that was helpful to you. Now let's continue on with what I'm doing here. As I said, I've been working in these books, but just you're not seeing the videos because I haven't been happy with the videos. So I have had to extend the pages to make them wide enough for these books. So I want the books to be ledger shabby chic. So they have numbers and flowers and lace, etc. and ledger. So there's a piece of ledger scrapbook paper sewn to this floral piece. And these pieces are the kinds of papers that kind of, the outer layer cracks a little bit when you fold it. So just to be sure that they were going to be safe, I sewed some little strips of ledger paper down the spines. I stenciled on the backs where they're white with various couple of stencils, and then these are the big cardboard number stencils. So I use them. I've added some lace to some of the pages. This is a calendar page. This is the digital I'm using, and it is from Nostalgia Graphic Land. And these pages, it's like a normal sized journal page, but it looks really tiny in these books. They're kind of dwarfed by these big pages, but they're so pretty. And it goes with my Shabby Chic ledger look that I'm going for. There's some of my homemade tape here, but I'm going to glue this down. Well, the tape isn't homemade, it's aged. The aging part is homemade. This was another piece that was stitched together, and this piece was loose. I mean, it wasn't, the stitching wasn't right to the edge of this paper, so I taped it. This is a file folder card from Nostalgia Graphic Land also. Another thing I did today was make lace pockets on the calendar page. I just took this piece of really pretty sheer lace and stitched it to a piece of ledger cardstock, so you can faintly see the lines on the ledger. It's actually a graph paper. This one is. Through the lace, and this is a Harrods bag that somebody sent me a long time ago, so I'm going to have a large card go in there. I think even these are too small for that, so I'll have to make something big to put in there. So that's what I've been doing. And this is the first page. This is the page, this is a signature that has the most items in it, and I have to do these things in the other signatures. So here, I didn't want to cover up that beautiful flower, but I wanted you to be able to do something with the page. So this is from a vintage science experiment journal. It was a big notebook. So I just tore a piece of that out and then added this little cluster with some seam binding. You can write on that. There's some stenciling. So here's what I want to do. I want to do something, this is going to be called a Somerset inspired video, because I was looking at one of my Somerset Studio magazines, and this is from November, December, January, and the January is 2020, so it's from earlier this year. And I saw this, and I thought this was perfect because of the kind of paper that's in the background. So I'm not going to copy this, but this just gave me the inspiration to do a collage on a ledger page. So this page is actually no pocket, no journaling space, but I'm doing a collage for you, and I hope you don't mind. So there will be 3 of my full page collages in each of the journals, because I'm going to do one in each signature. And that's what we're going to do right now. So I have the first one done, and I am just going to set some of this stuff aside so I can work on another 1 or 2 on this video. So I pulled some digital figures out. What do I do with the rest of them? And these are all from Dreams, etc. And I don't even know if I still have this in my computer, because I had to get a new computer, and I don't remember seeing this when I transferred my files, because I organized them all. So I don't know if I still have this. I hope I do. And it's full. It's many, many pages. I don't even know what this kit is called. It's many pages of digital pieces to cut out. And the ones with the black background, or the black outlines, I know that they are Dreams, etc. from that kit. So I pulled some of those images out. I thought it was a good chance to use some of the bigger images. So I'm going to find my calendar page in this signature. And so the first one I did was one of these pages from a hardware book, a hardware store book. I don't know the year of this particular book, but the company was incorporated in 1903, established 1818. I don't know the year of these pages. I wonder if I looked in the book I might find a year, but I don't know. So what I did was I pulled from 3 different books, so each signature will have a different ledger page on it. This is from a church book where they kept track of donations or tithes. I think I want to use this part of it so I can have that letter on the end, or flip it this way. Either way, I'm going to use this end of the paper. So I'm going to just tear. This says 1950. 57, I believe. If I have it this way, then that B can extend off the page a little bit. Okay, so we're going to glue, I'm just going to go ahead and glue that down before I arrange my pieces on it, because I know this is going to be the background. I'm not going to ink around it because it is already old. It's a genuine old paper. Yeah, I really had trouble getting going with these journals. Sometimes I expect too much of myself, I guess, because I love ledgers and I wanted to make it special. And I just kind of get into my own head where I just think I don't know what to do because I need it to be really great and I'm afraid I'm going to do something wrong. So I just was going very slowly with it, but once I got most of the first signature done, I kind of have a better idea of what I want, and I'm happy with the direction it's going, so I think we're just going to keep going now, and I think it'll be easier for me. So this piece isn't as big as in the first piece, the first signature. That was the biggest piece that I had. Each journal will have one gentleman. So this is also a digital, it's a ticket. I just have a bunch of pieces here to use to try to make this collage. I've got I made some homemade ephemera. I forgot that this was done in the earlier video from today. These are punched out of manila file folder pieces that I had, and then just stamped, and some of them have a little stenciling on the background. So I have some of these here ready to go. And I went through my binders and just pulled a bunch of ephemera that I thought I might be able to use. This is wallpaper. I think I used my Big Shot to cut that scallop circle out. I didn't want anything too flowery on this page. That's a digital tag from Old Design Shop. And we have to have a number here somewhere. And I want you to be able to see a good portion of the ledger page behind it with the handwriting. So I think that this right here is going to be our collage. Ticket. Let's put the gentleman where I want him to make sure I have the ticket in the right place. So when I do a collage, I like to have the pieces touching at some point. I don't want to have one thing off in limbo. So even if something was off a little bit, I would want some sort of connection. In most cases, there might be exceptions. And I like to have some things vertical and some things horizontal. I like to have some curve and some straight lines. I want to show you, I'll go back to the first collage I did with the lady and show you something else that I wanted to point out that I purposely did in my arrangement. In case you are wondering, you know, if you like to do collage and are wondering if there are any tips for creating a pleasing collage, it's all up to each individual person too, of course. I don't want it right in the center. I want things off kilter a little bit. So he is the focus here, but he is not in the center of the page. He's just off center a little bit. It just gives more interest. And I don't want him to just be right in the foreground by himself, so I'm going to put this number on top of him, and it kind of pushes him into the rest of the collage, if you know what I mean. So this is a pretty simple collage. There isn't a lot to it, but I think it has enough elements. The background is a part of the collage with this little tab and the handwriting on the collage or on the ledger. So there are enough elements in there. Now let me talk to you about the other collage that I did. Here. So this one, I put this ticket behind her and this label that I stamped and cut out. And I arranged them so that there was some space between her back and the ticket. I could have had her over or the ticket moved over so that it was completely, that there was no space there, but I really liked it better. There's more movement in the collage if you can see a little space in there, and there are connection points with her head and her bustle. So she's definitely connected to the ticket, but there's a little bit of space. And with this, I moved it up and made sure that there was a little corner of it peeking through, so it's not just disappearing behind her, but you can see that's where it goes. So those are some things that I purposefully did. And you can see I added a number on top of her too, to kind of help her blend into the rest of the collage. I hope that all makes sense to you. And I will put this guy back where he belongs, and we'll do another one. I love doing collages, so this is fun for me. It is going on 8 p.m. Yeah, it's almost 8. But I have fun doing this, so I'm just playing. The other ledger page that I brought out is from a radio, like an amateur radio person, and they have this little booklet to keep track of date and time, station called by, his frequency or dial, his signals, my signals, frequency, emission type. If you understand radio stuff, you might understand that. I just like it. It's a ledger and it's something different. I found that at a flea market last year, and I've used I actually got 2 of them. One has more writing in it. But I took a blank page, so you may even be able to write on some of this if I don't take up too much of the space. We have this lady with her dog. And what will I use to create the collage around her? Maybe I'll move her here. Got some tags here that are digitals. I think she's going to be a little tricky just because of the way this is shaped. This is a stamped image that I cut out. I've got these Shabby Chic tickets. I think all I need to add now is a number, something on top of her. I don't want to cover the dog's face. So maybe right there. The dog is causing a problem. I think it needs something else. No. Maybe she doesn't need something else. Maybe a different flower. Something with a little more color. I think that helps. I think this one just was blending in too much. Yeah, I think that helps. But let me see. I think that looks better over there. And the flower is on top, so that's kind of helping to blend her into the collage. And I think this looks a lot better over here. So I think that that's going to be good. But now I didn't glue the background down before I started arranging, so I have to take everything off and do that. So I'm still playing with my lighting in here. I took out the floor lamp that I've had, but I'm missing it. I have a clip-on light that's clipped to my shelves now that I have my shelves over my head, but I'm having trouble seeing what I'm doing sometimes. And I'm thinking that at least through on my camera screen that I can look at, it looks yellow to me. I'll have to look at the video when I get it uploaded. But it looks yellow. So I don't know what I'm going to do about lighting in here. I think I have to get something better than what I've got. And not just for the videos. I do want the video quality to be good, but I need to be able to see what I'm doing. And I struggle with that. I know these numbers are upside down, but I want the flowers to be seen. I think that's more important. Well, maybe I could use a different one that has flowers where I need them to be. I guess it doesn't matter. So you still will have some room to make some notations on this page. Not taking the whole page away from you. The other ones had writing on the ledger behind, but this one doesn't. There's plenty of space for writing in these journals because there's lots of ledger papers and they're big pages. So you will have plenty of room to journal. Eight o'clock. So here's another one of the lace pockets and with the grid. It's a scrapbook cardstock piece, but it's a tablet that has ledger type of pages in it. So I backed the lace on that to make a pocket, and I'll be able to use some of my vintage flashcards in there. Cool, huh? I'll probably decorate them a little bit before I stick them in there. I also have these vintage labels that are coat room checks and shoe tags. So I might be able to use them in a collage too. Shall we do another one? So I've got them all done for one journal. So, whoops, pardon me. Let's do one for the next journal. I really want to keep one of these because I love numbers. I love the Shabby Chic. Everything about these journals is right up my alley. We're going to use this lovely young lady in this journal. Could put her over here to give you some room to write, but I think I really like it with the numbers showing. So no writing on this page. I'll glue the background down first. Now we get to have the fun of arranging. Oh, I forgot about my cellophane on the other pages. I'll have to add that. Okay, so this book is the one with the blue on the front, so I brought out some more blue elements. I almost said elephants. Not elephants. I'll look at my first one again and see what kind of elements I need. Oh, you know what? I'm not using my labels that I stamped. Let's get them out. Sorry for my arm being in your face. Got all these pieces I can use. I think I want a flower on her. That looks pretty good. We'll go with this. I realize I'm not leaving the white space on these, but the shape of the images is different from the first one, and it doesn't really allow for that too much. I could leave a little bit right there. Maybe I'll try to do that. On the other one, she had a curved back. So that made it easy to leave a space. But I am making the end of this label stick out over here, not just disappear behind her. Yeah, I can leave a space in there. I don't want to put this ticket right down at the edge of this image. I don't want things lined up, so I raised it up just a little bit. It just helps with the movement and the interest. And with the rose, I want to make sure that the label isn't, like the bottom of the rose is coming out from under the label. There. I think I like the way that one turned out. Oh, cellophane. This piece just has a little piece left on it. So next time I'm going to look for my acetate, because I think I'll be able to peel it off the acetate better. But I don't mind if they break because I want them in smaller pieces anyway. It's not a big deal. That one just broke too. I think I need one more little piece on here somewhere. I'm having trouble getting this piece off. Being fiddly, so I just want to break it off using my serrated part to get the serrated edge. Where do I want to put this? Just want a little piece. I have pieces going vertically, so I put one on horizontally. Okay, so there's that one. Don't know if we'll have time to finish another one, but we can get started. This one will be the gentleman page. And it will be with, instead of the church page, I have this one, resistance change with temperature. This is part of the science experiment. It's electrical work. It's fun to have a variety of old ledgers and lab books and stuff like that. I'm so lucky I find stuff like that at flea markets and antique malls. Let's give him a shoe tag. I'm going to look to see if I have more stamped labels. Yeah, thought I did. I want some bigger ones. Hoppity hop. So some of these are stamped on the math pages. There's one with numbers on it. Look, Jane, look. I don't think we'll put that on the gentleman's page. Big ticket. Let's use a big ticket. He's rather small on this page, so that'll help. This one has more color, but it's not as big. But I like that one. Get something round in here. What else do I want? I don't even remember what these are. I got them from an Etsy seller and I've never used one. Maybe I've used one. Just one. But I don't even remember what they are. I'm not sure if I have a place for that here. It definitely needs something. I'm not sure. Let's raise this up a bit. I didn't want it to feel like I had two little mini collages going on, a little grouping up here and a little grouping down there. And for some reason, moving that ticket up seemed to alleviate that. That looks a lot better. I cannot explain why. So the ticket is behind in that opening there, but there is a space between the ticket. This big ticket is behind him, you can see it, but there's a space between the tag and him. Now it just feels like everything's on this side. I like this one. It's the same shape and size, but I just like what's stamped on it. Let's move it up there so it's in contact with the ticket. And I think that helps. So it's not just something stuck on there. Yeah, I think we're going to go with this layout. And I think that I'm probably going to have to shut the camera off because we're almost to an hour. But you've seen the layout. I'm just going to glue it all in place now. And I only have one more collage to do. So thanks for watching me, and hopefully you learned some tips on arranging collages, and I will see you again with more progress on these really fun ledger journals. Thank you so much.